Welcome everybody. Here we are in 25 in the book of Genesis. And we have Abraham getting a new wife, Keturah, and the division of his goods and his age and his death and his burial. We have the genealogies of Ishmael, his age, his death, Isaac. He prayeth for Rebekah being barren. All that harmonizes good with Jaser. All right, then we have the birth of Esau and Jacob, and here it goes with the split in the seed here as it goes on all the way through Genesis here. 27, we have their differences, and Esau then gives up his birthright here in 25. In the book of Genesis, verse 1, it says, Then again Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran, Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, Ish, Bach, and Shua. And Jokshan begot Sheba and Dedan, and the sons of Dedan were Asherim and Letishim and Lumim. For it says, and the sons of Midian, Ephah and Epher and Hanath and Abida and Eldaah. All these were the children of Keturah. New paragraph in 5. And Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac. And unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts, and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived, eastward unto the east country. And these are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived, 160 years. Then Abraham gave up the ghost, and died in a good old age, an old man, and full of years, and was gathered to his people. And that's exactly what the prophecy he was given by the Lord said. And his sons, Isaac and Ishmael, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar, the Hittite, which is before Mamre. And we all know that he bought that. And that's where Sarah was buried. It says here in 10, the field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth, there was Abraham buried.
And Sarah, his wife.
And Sarah, his wife. In 11, we have a new paragraph. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well Lahara. In new paragraph mark, now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names, according to their generations, the firstborn of Ishmael, Nebaioth, and Kedar, and Adbeel, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa. 15, Hadar, and Tema, Jetor, Naphish, and Kedemah. 16, these are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, by their towns and by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations. See, that prophecy came true, and that's exactly what God said he would do with Ishmael, and it certainly came true. He had the 12 dukes here, didn't he? 17, and these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years, and he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people. 18, and they dwelt from Havilah unto Sur, which is before Egypt, as thou goest towards Assyria. And he died in the presence of all his brethren. Now, again, they gave you the geography of where all these princes or dukes or kings and their castles, etc. In 19, and these are the generations of Isaac. Abraham's son Abraham begot Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban the Syrian. 21, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. All right. And we all went through this here in Jazer, this exact thing, this struggling in the womb. 22, and the children struggled together within her, and she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. Okay, because she, in Jazer, we know that she inquired of people around, said, has anybody ever had this? Everyone said no, so she said, hey, we got to inquire of the Lord. What's going on here? 23, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Period. Now, we go back to Adam and Eve, folks, and the difference in the seeds and how there's going to be a conflict through time that will be ended at the end of time. Okay? And here you see some of that sticking out right here, don't you? In 24 it says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Notice the color red, folks. 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. Now, remember this heel business. And when we get to the end, the second from the last chapter, even, you look here about the heel. It's very interesting. The prophecies over the 12 sons in the last days. And see, down there on the heel is the Achilles tendon, it's called. All right, and so it's very interesting because there is, if you attack someone's Achilles tendon, they are what? They can't move hardly. They're crippled. If anyone's ever had an Achilles tendon pulled, you'd know what that's like. But in 27, we go on. Just remember, this is Jacob's prophecy I'm talking about over the 12 sons. Okay, and it prophesies the Antichrist. It prophesies Christ, and the prophecies are very interesting. A bit vague, more vague than other prophecies. Doesn't really have the plain speaking interpretation in the Bible, but for those that know the similitude language, that prophecy on his deathbed now is in plain English here. All right, and he's talking about the tribe of Dan and also Judah. Joseph gets a good prophecy for the end times. All right, but in 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because he ate of his venison, but Rebekah loved Jacob, period. And she was very wise here. 29 is a new paragraph, and Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, Sell me this day thy birthright. And Esau said, Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? Question mark. So here he is in the physical, am I right? And there's a whole story about why he was so worn out that's in Jasher. Why was Esau so fatigued? Well, for the answer to that, we go to Jasher. Okay, but here he's fasting, and when you're fasting, you're separating yourself from the physical body. You're going to the spirit, and here he's not doing that. He is sold his birthright. 33, and Jacob said, Swear to me this day. And he sware to him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Okay, now, like I said, he did that when he came in this condition, and all you got to do is scroll back there and look at this incident back there as we went through Jasher, okay? But there's no reason to sell your birthright. However, we know that this was of God. We do. And Jasher plainly says that. All this was meant to be. Of course it was, because this is Christ's bloodline here. Jacob. So on we go in 26, and there was a famine in the land, besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him, and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Again, he's appearing here. This is the physical that you can look at, and that is Jesus Christ, folks. It just is. You can't look on the Father and live. 3, it says, Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee, for unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. Now, again, now you see why it is that these things happened to benefit Jacob. It wasn't just Jacob that was benefited. It was all of us, folks, all the seed of Abraham here that know Jesus Christ are benefited by these acts that are here in our Bible. Here is this guarantee again. This is intergenerational guarantee in this bloodline. It says, and I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed, capital S, shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. And that, friends, is through Jesus Christ, is it not? 5, it says, because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws. And a new paragraph here now. There you go. And that's faith. That's faith. And Abraham was famous for his faith. Like he is a good example for all the saints throughout time. And he's a good example for us today. We have faith, so we keep the charge and the commandments of God, our works and faith. And look here, it says statutes and laws. That's the written doctrine, folks. But anyway, in 6, we have a new paragraph, and Isaac dwelt in Gerar, and the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, she is my sister. Okay, now, again, this is done purposely. These things that we're getting in this history, none of this is by accident here, folks. Here he's going to get this king, Abimelech, right? He's going to give him an attitude adjustment here. All right, so back in 7. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, she is my sister. For he feared to say, she is my wife, lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. In 8 it says, and it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out at a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife. Now the Philistines have the Antichrist god, Dagon. They have the creature that came up out of the ocean, Dagon. See, the fish god. And they have the Canaanite religion. And no matter what, it takes a good slap upside the king's head to get him straight. Anyway, in 9, and Abimelech called Isaac and said, behold, of a surety she is thy wife. And how saidest thou, she is my sister? ? And Isaac said unto him, because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, what is this thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lain with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, he that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Okay, now, again, here is someone that knows about the uncleanness of adultery. Okay, there he is, a pagan king. How bad are we today to have preachers out here saying, go ahead and have an adulterer affair or gay marriage or any of that trash? How can that be, folks? How can that be? Anyway, yeah, it can be because Satan has infected these people. 12, then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth. Now that's a dirty thing to do. People can die over that by traveling and thinking they have water ahead and it's filled in. So this is some jealousy, and notice the difference in the seeds here. Okay? Notice the difference in the bloodlines. Go back to Adam and Eve. 16, and Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. 17, new paragraph, and Isaac departed thence, and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar, and dwelt there. And Isaac digged again the wells of water, which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham, and he called their names after the names by which his father had called them. 19. And Isaac's servants digged in the valley, and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Ishmael's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek, because they strove with him. And that, according to the translators, they're saying it means contention. 21, and they digged another well, and strove for that also. And he called the name of it Sittah. And according to the translators in Hebrew, that means hatred. 22, and he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now the Lord hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And according to the translators, that means room. Room. In other words, room for us. 23, and he went up from thence to Beersheba. And we all remember where that is. That's where the grove was planted. Not an occult grove, but a grove for waterhole. There with Abraham. In 24, and the Lord appeared unto him the same night, and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee, and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake. Did you get that? Oh, did he love Abraham or what? And again, he's appearing before them. This isn't a flame of fire. It isn't a pillar of smoke. This is Jesus Christ. 25, and he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants digged a well. Period. In 26 is a new paragraph, and then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzzath, one of his friends, and Philcol, the chief captain of his army. 27, and Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you? ? And they said, We saw certainly that the Lord was with thee, and we said, Let there be now an oath between us, even between us, or betwixt us, and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee. So they're starting to grow a little bit, aren't they? And at least recognize that God loves Isaac. 26, that thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good, and have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of the Lord. Okay, and this harmonizing good with Jacer some more. In 30 it says, and he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink. 31, and they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware one to another, and Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace. Harmonizing with that, Jacer. 32, and it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came, and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, we have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. Okay, in 34 we go back to Esau. New paragraph. And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. 35, which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah. Okay, now, there's more on this and how they wouldn't let go of their cultism. And he did it very hatefully in their face. He did it against the family. Some of that's going to be here. It's going to pop up. And it was really a great grief to Isaac and Rebekah here. And there's going to be some of it that's going to pop up here, and the stress that they're under, and it's elaborated on there in Jacer. So with that in mind, folks, we're enjoying this read, we're enjoying the history, we're enjoying how it harmonizes together here, and this was a good idea to back this up here right after doing Jacer. So I'll tell you, I thank every one of you for studying. Okay, bye-bye.